we start with injury news then, please, Gary, ahead of the final fixture? Billy Clark, Liverpool, Adam Chickson in particular.
Billy Clark's got a chance, Chickson no, Bawley no. Who else is in that room? Who else? I think no, out of all of them, the only one that's got a chance is Billy, and we'll give him till tomorrow to see how he has gone after today.
You mentioned after the Scunthorpe game, I think at one point you had 5 players, under 22.
Yeah.
Do you think you might sort of go similar this weekend? Is that in your thoughts now?
Well, a lot of it was to have a look at that, but like I say, you name all those injuries and that dictates your hand a little bit. But no, I think it's important for the likes of Danny Devine to build on last week's performance, and same with Luca Colville as well. So, it was good that you'd like to say, for that age group, that they had the experience of last weekend's game.
I was going to ask you about Danny Devine in particular, and Luca, but like Devine, local lad,
yes.
The academy, is that the way you rebuild this club now?
I think it's one of the areas. You can't just go and chuck all a bunch of local lads in if they're not up to the standard. They have to be up to the standard, but certainly from my time as a manager, both at Blackburn and Blackpool, it was something that I wanted to do, is push the young ones on, because that's the background I came from, coaching wise. But no, you can't just rely on your academy boys. It's a case of rebuilding with loads of different ways.
Is it fair to say this is the last chance, of our players on the last chance with you to impress and to see whether they're going to be with you next year? Or have you made those decisions?
Oh, I've made those decisions, yeah.
Okay. Would that be reflected in your team selection at the weekend, Gary, or not?
Good question. I don't know what the team is, so maybe not. There will be some that will feature that, possibly might play, that might not be here next year and might not be here next year.
We were saying it must be really tough for a manager coming in your position. You knew it was very difficult anyway.
Yes, yeah.
You've got to get the best out of players,
yeah.
But you also know that you probably made your mind up quite quickly that some of them aren't going to be here.
Yeah.
How difficult has that been for you?
I think it's always difficult when you're having to make decisions on people's livelihoods. That's never easy. However, that is it's part of the role, and sometimes the game can be very ruthless. And at this stage of the season, where people are coming up with contract decisions, that's always the bit that you have to be ruthless. I can't be making emotional decisions. I've got to be making decisions that are calculated and correct for Bradford City going forward.
On that front, Gary, are you able to give us any information about players that might be staying or going, or is that not being finalised yet?
It's been finalised in my head, but I'm not giving those names or anybody anything until I've spoken to the players first and foremost, because that's the correct manner to which to do it.
Looking ahead to the weekend, you've got a big say in what can happen at the bottom. It's been so ridiculously tight, isn't it? Wimbledon have showed an amazing spirit. How much of a lesson is that for the players to look at them and see what they've done going into next season?
Well, I think you've seen the value of it. Personally speaking, it doesn't surprise me with Wally going in there and Glyn Hodges, who I worked with at Blackburn Rovers, so it doesn't surprise me that they've turned it around and done what they've done. But it is a great example of what can be achieved with a collective spirit and a collective belief.
Obviously you want to win, like any manager. The performance on Saturday, how key is that for you as well in front of those fans?
Well, generally speaking, I feel that the performances have not, we've probably not got enough points for some of the performances that we've put in. So it's important for us to finish the season off properly. We have the opportunity to try and win another game and try and go back to back. We've got another opportunity to get individual performances high, and ultimately, we've got to try and give the supporters something back, because they've not had a great deal this season. We managed to do that on the last away game, and that's something that we want to try and do for the last home game now.
Gary, I understand the club chairman and people at the club have been, or making the players aware of just the magnitude of what happened sort of back in 1985 with the fire as well. Just how important is it that people get the history of the club, whether they're going to be here or not?
Oh, it's huge, and then that includes myself. Obviously, I was aware of it at the time, but you know, we've watched a video today to show the players to make them realise and educate them in terms of, you know, what this weekend the memorial is about, and you know, it's part of the club, it's part of the city. You know, it's like I've said all along from the first time I've come here, you know, the community of the city is incredible, and the togetherness of it in that sense, and obviously the impact of the fire has a major play in that.
Finally for me, Gary, there was an extraordinary incident last Sunday where there was a goal was basically returned to the opposition, is what Marcelo Bielsa said. If you've seen it, or what are your thoughts on what happened? Because it went viral and global.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it, in the sense of there is no rule to say you have to kick it out. So from that point of view, I get that. I have to say, you have to take your hat off to the Leeds United manager for what he did and the actions that he did, because it could have been quite easy saying, you know, I'm going for the playoffs, or I'm going for automatic promotion, so you can get lost, a lot of you, but he didn't, and you know, fair play to him, and you know, I think it was interesting, Chris Wilder celebrating, and I'm absolutely delighted for him, because I know him and played with him at Rotherham, and you know, even in his interview when they were celebrating getting promoted, that was the first thing he commented on about the act from Mr. Bielsa. So fair play to him, and you know, it's something that again the authorities need to look at, and players then need to know that you don't have to kick it out, and if you don't have to kick it out, then don't kick it out, and don't give the referee he always becomes the unpopular figurehead for, you know, I think the only time that they do need to kick it out or stop the game is a head injury, but the referee has that authority to do that himself. He doesn't need other, you know, teams kicking the ball out of play when there's no need to, because unfortunately what you do get is you get a lot of players staying down, and we kick it out. Well, let's get it right. Some of them aren't even there, are they? And you know, these medics run on and give them the magic sponge and up they get. Well, better rubbish some of them, but there you go.
Gary, thanks for that, and all the best this weekend.
Thank you very much.
As you said, there's plenty on the game on Saturday.
Yeah, huge.
There's also the thing, from Bradford's point of view, of James Hanson returning. He was a hero for the Cop, for the whole thing. Is that something you have to take into account when you're doing the build-up, that there is a player in the opposition that the fans loved?
Well, it's certainly not come into our preparations in terms of the fans loving the big man. I totally understand why and how, and obviously again he's associated to, you know, some very good times that the club had here, so I understand that, but we're targeting all the Wimbledon players and putting a plan together, not just because if one's coming back that used to be a fan's favourite.
And when you look at how well Wimbledon have done, as you said, since Wally and Glyn went in there, is that something that you can use now for Bradford? No,
because it's Wimbledon. We have to create our own spirit and our own belief going forward. You can look at the lessons that obviously they've gone, but how they've gone about it is completely different to how, you know, we would go about it, or what we would do. It's theirs. It's their way of working, and you know, every manager and every coaching staff will have their own different way. Of course, last game of the season, do you actually get a holiday, or do you go straight into planning? My wife believes we get a holiday. What it means is I answer the phone in a different country to me, and she gets a holiday.
Saying obviously about the fire today.
Yes.
Did you watch One Day in May? Was that right?
I've got that on my computer as we're speaking. We watched an excerpt from it today, which Laura and Ollie, the chaplain, made the players watch and explain what had gone off and educate the players more. So just watching I think it was a 5-minute clip, is incredible, and the impact that it made on myself, the coaching staff, that had never seen anything like that before. Obviously, I think the players had seen something similar, if not the same, and just looking around the room as we were watching it, it had everybody's attention.
Yeah.